So over the past few months, there has been a bit of drama going on with Voyager 1 and its health, and now we've finally gotten a bit of a positive update. For those of you out of the loop, back in November of last year, Voyager 1 began experiencing issues with sending back usable data to Earth. It was basically just sending back unreadable gibberish. The source of this problem was traced to one of its 3 computers on board, more specifically its Flight Data Subsystem or FDS. And what this computer does is it packages science data by collecting and processing information from the various sensors and instruments aboard the spacecraft, not only scientific data but also engineering data about the health and status of the spacecraft. It then puts all this information into a single data package in binary code consisting of zeros and ones that machines can actually read and interpret, and then that code is passed on to the Telemetry Modulation Unit or TMU. This unit is responsible for converting the data package into a radio signal, which is then beamed or transmitted back to Earth via Voyager's high-gain antenna. This process is what ultimately allows the spacecraft to send hopefully comprehensive and coherent scientific and engineering data back to mission control. However, this has not been the case for months now, as the FDS computer hasn't been communicating with the TMU properly nor sending any sensible data back. Engineers have only been receiving a repeating pattern of ones and zeros indicating that the computer might be stuck. The exact reason behind this couldn't be identified yet. The engineering team has told Space.com that it could be related to some sort of memory corruption, or even worse, a hardware failure, which wouldn't come as a big surprise given the fact that the spacecraft has been in space for 46 and a half years already. The possibility of a binary bit having been flipped by an energetic cosmic particle, meaning that a 0 in the code accidentally became a 1, or vice versa, isn't completely off the table either. To complicate things even further, Voyager 1 is over 15 billion miles away from Earth, or 24 billion kilometers, meaning that each signal from Earth takes 22.5 hours to get to Voyager, which in turn responds with another signal, which also takes 22.5 hours to get back to Earth, meaning that the engineers have to wait 45 hours to find out whether their attempt at fixing the issue worked or not. However, after months of trial and failure, the Voyager 1 team sent a poke at the spacecraft, or in other words, they sent a new command meant to prompt the FDS to try different sequences in its software package in case the issue could be resolved by going around a corrupted section. And this seems to have worked in that Voyager has now beamed back a different signal than what had been the case lately. It still wasn't in the expected format that the signal would have been sent otherwise had the computer been working properly, so the team wasn't really sure what to make of it. But after a couple of days, one of the engineers realized that this new signal contains a complete readout of the FDS's memory, which also includes its code as well as variables holding the values used in that code that can be changed based on commands or the spacecraft status. It also contains science or engineering data for downlink, so that is an interesting and certainly hopeful turn of events. But now the question still remains, what's next? Well, in a recent blog from NASA, the link to which you can find in the description box below this video, the Voyager team will compare this new readout to the one that came before the issue arose and look for discrepancies in the code and the variables to potentially find the source of the ongoing issue. And this is pretty much all we know for now, so we'll have to keep waiting for a little bit. And I really hope we don't lose this one, even though I know it's a good bit older than me and its original life expectancy was a mere 5 years, so it has already overshot that number by more than 41. It would indeed be very sad news if we were to lose Voyager. This thing has given us so much, like the first detailed images and data on the moons and rings of Jupiter and Saturn, the discovery of active volcanoes on Jupiter's moon Io, and details about the atmosphere and magnetosphere of these planets, the first human-made object to travel into interstellar space, the famous pale blue dot image showing what our only home in the infinite void of space looks like from 6 billion kilometers away, merely a tiny speck surrounded by darkness. So I'm crossing my fingers we get to see Voyager live on for much longer. Thank you for tuning in. Have a nice day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.